All right, let's do it. Hour number 3, Sports Talk Radio. This is Idaho Sports Talk, Prater in the Ball Game on KTIK Sports Radio. The Ticket, thanks for accessing us. And going to get down and dirty with Deion Sanders accepting the position to become the next football coach at the University of Colorado and join the Pac-12. We got some audio. We got some strong takes on that coming up. Obviously, we want your opinion always on our Cloverdale Plumbing text line, 208-424-9300, Prater. But first, I wanted to talk Boise State with you, but foremost, you know nothing about the population of Evanston, Wyoming, and I want everybody to know that.
I knew what it was like when 40 years ago when I was there for college. It's obviously grown a little bit since then. I thought it was 3,000 people. Apparently, it's 11 to 12,000.
And that's where Coach Papinga was, who's now leaving Boise State, going to BYU. Why we even got on that topic. Anyway, yeah, here we go. We got a bowl game. It's the first time Boise State's going to actually play in a bowl game.
Are you sure?
We're thinking so. Yes. I mean, unless there's some major weather thing, and this is the season down there, right?
Or what happened last year?
They say, you know what?
It was COVID a couple of days before.
Yeah.
So we got 2 weeks to keep our fingers crossed. Don't get too excited, ball game.
Now, they didn't play in a bowl game in 18. They did in 19, and they haven't played in one since. That's my track, right?
Oh, well, yeah. The 18 was the Responder Lightning Bowl game.
Didn't play. We played a half a quarter.
8 minutes or
Okay.
Whatever it was. Yep.
And then 19 they played. They lost. That was Brian Harsin versus Chris Peterson.
Correct.
Hank Bachmeier's freshman year.
Correct.
And they haven't played in a bowl game since. 20 was COVID, and then Carson left, and then 21 last year. They were going to play in Arizona, the Barstool game, and then that got interrupted by COVID. So first off, let's just hope they play in one.
Exactly. Keeping our fingers crossed and at least play in one and maybe get boy, it's been a long time around here. Well, I know it's never happened during Boise State's bowl era where an entire class of Boise State football players went through freshman, sophomore, senior, junior, redshirt, whatever. No bowl rings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It needs to happen. Let's get that sucker fixed. You know, now North Texas is pretty darn good, although they just fired their coach. They got to their conference championship game.
Yeah.
He didn't get it done in the postseason. They got a 29-year-old quarterback. That ball game, and I'm going to talk about a lot tomorrow. It's kind of a cool story, really cool story. And there's some serious Boise State, Dirk Cutter, Denton, Texas, North Texas history going on out there. But on paper, this is a game that Boise State, if everybody comes to play and they play like we saw them play before the championship game on Saturday, they should take care of business. No problem in this game.
Yeah, these two teams were in the same league, right?
Yes, sir.
In the Big West, I believe from 96 to 98-ish, something around there. Don't quote me on that, but I know when Boise State first went to the Big West, North Texas was a part of the Big West. I'm looking right now, North Texas played in the Big West from 96 to 2000. So that's what, like 3-4 years they were together in the same league. So that's where we go with this. But I think there's other things. Just forget the opponent for now. Forget the fact that you want to win it. But there's other things that this coaching staff, this program, Prater, wanted that are coming with this bowl game.
Yeah, they certainly wanted to play a game before Christmas. They got that taken care of. And if you're going to play in one of these crappy bowl games after losing a conference championship, I got no problem with that. It would have been nice to see them play Memphis. It would have been nice to see Boise State play Baylor like the other Mountain West teams are. But, I'm not too worried about Memphis. Boise State plays Memphis next year. They play them 4 times like in the next 8 years or something like that. So we're going to see plenty of Memphis moving forward. Yeah, Boise State, Baylor would have been a fun matchup. But, this is not a Boise State decision. This is not a Mountain West decision. This is not a Craig Thompson decision. This is a bowl selection committee decisions with ESPN making the final decisions. And I believe the bowl committee, I would guess that the bowl committee at the Armed Forces Bowl invited Air Force for obvious reasons. And that's why they put that sucker together. So okay. I totally get it. I certainly understand it. It's very disappointing for Boise State to have to play North Texas in the Frisco Bowl on December 17th. Although there are some good things about it. Again, just get it taken care of. Go recruit, take care of business, recruit in Texas. I like a lot of boxes except for the sex appeal of this game, which there is none. And we're not going to pretend like there's any. And Boise State could just go in there and win a football game and get out of there and focus on recruiting.
I mean, gosh, if I would have said to you before the season, they're going to play in whatever bowl game, but the opponent's going to be, the North Texas Mean Green, you'd probably say, ball game. That means another 7-5.
Another trouble.
Or a 6-6 season, and Coach Avalos might be a little hot. That's not the case. They're 9-4. But
yeah, that's an issue with the Mountain West Bowl situation. You know that after you lose the Mountain West championship game, the bowl situation in the Mountain West is desperate. It's horrible. It's pathetic. JP, did you ever dig up that clip? By the way, we never did find it, did we?
Which
Craig Thompson and Boise on Saturday in Boise talking about.
I've got to email out to the conference commissioner.
Yeah,
right
what did
now.
he say?
Well, I asked Craig Thompson during the press conference on Saturday before the game about fixing the Mountain West Bowl situation, fixing especially a number 2 spot. He can't be completely happy that Barstool is the number 2 spot in there, and then ESPN controls the bottom 4 or 5 games in the conference. And if he could find out a way to get a second, the Mountain West Bowl situation is not terrible because it is the Mountain West. Let's be honest with ourselves. But they need to find a better number 2 for their conference championship loser, whether it's a junior holiday bowl in San Diego, whether it's a junior Vegas bowl in Vegas. I don't care if it's on the 17th or whenever it is. I would like to see them put that thing together. And Greg Thompson addressed that. New commissioner Gloria Navarez knows about this, and it's on her list to see what she can do. I'd like to see them come up with another bowl game for the loser of the championship game, but that doesn't exist right now. So they're also straddled by geography issues in the West. There just isn't that many opportunities in the West. So I understand all the different things that go into play, and unfortunately, Boise State lost a game, and now they're playing in a crappy bowl game against a crappy opponent.
What's the best part about this? Is there one? I mean, maybe for the fans or for the program?
Yeah, the fans. Very few fans. I mean, Texas parents. What is there? A dozen Texas players on this football team?
Plus 5 commits.
So yeah, there's some commits and some Texas family members and maybe some players living down there in that area. But yeah, fans, this is not going to be a destination bowl game. There'll be a few fans, a couple thousand maybe would pop down. Boise State's always done a decent job. Get down there, get back before Christmas.
Yeah.
I heard Bob over there making plans already to go to an NBA game. You can make it a kind of a sports weekend, go to an NHL game. You can go to an NBA game. And if you're a sports junkie, if you can put in a bowl game and get in a major league NBA or NHL game, that's pretty cool.
I saw the Trailblazers are playing the Mavs the Friday before this bowl game. That's the game Bob was talking about going to. So you can do all that cool stuff. Yeah. And, is winning 10 games important? I'm a guy that looks at the standings and looks at the history a lot. And one of the things I will add up, one thing I look at is kind of how many 10-win seasons have you had? I looked at it as kind of a benchmark in college football right now. And I think that would be good for this program to have a 10-win season, certainly in Andy Avalos' second season. I know you wanted to win the league, and Andy Avalos still has not done that in 2 seasons. I think that I see a statistic. Boise State has won 2 Mountain West championships in the last, 7-8 years, something along those lines.
Yeah.
So the conference championships aren't just coming like they did what seemed like an annual basis from about 2002 to about, 2015, 14.
Boise State has a postseason football problem, a big one, a massive postseason problem. The bowl things they don't control, but it's happening, and it's happening a lot. And the fact that they can't get the bowl thing taken care of, and they as a big group of people, it really, really bothers me. And then losing all these championship games. Boise State has a postseason football problem that they need to fix immediately. And I'm not even sure how you fix that. How do you address that question? Okay, we need to be a better bowl team. Well, how do you even fix that? I don't even understand what that question is. It's a dumb question. How do we win more Mountain West championships? Well, we make our football team better, and we try not to be injured. And I firmly believe that injuries played a major role in this last Saturday's game, more so than a lot of other teams. So how you deal with that, I'm not sure. But Boise State, and this was on my list of stories to talk about over the next 2 weeks. How can Boise State fix its postseason problem? Whether it's going off and creating another bowl game like Boise State did. Boise State, Gene Blameyer created the Potato Bowl by himself. He just said, I'm doing it.
Yeah, we're going to have a bowl game.
And then he did it. And it's obviously a bit more complicated these days, and ESPN has its fingers in all the pie, but it would be nice if they could get another bowl game, go win some of those bowl games. And I don't know, if a football coach has a meeting with his staff and says, how do we become a better postseason football program? I don't even know where that conversation would start.
Especially with the current landscape of it. I mean, and I'm not going to even start any of these rumors, or there aren't any rumors, but, I would hope that every player on this roster is eager, willing, and ready to participate in this bowl game. That's not always the case anymore. A lot of guys don't want to play in this bowl game and risk possibly jeopardizing their draft status or whatever, their new agents, which you can hire now before these games, saying, hey, this is a game you really don't need to play in. It's not going to affect you either way. Basically, it could only hurt you and not help you. So that whole thing is, then if you look, this is like their second goal, win the Mountain West and a bowl game, right?
Yes,
so
sir.
so they sell the team, they sell the city, the community, that winning a bowl game is a massive priority.
Yes, sir.
So I want to see them do that this year. And I think North Texas, they've had a good year. You're right. They made what? The Conference USA championship game, correct me?
Yep.
They've had a nice year. They fired their coach because they wanted to have a lot nicer of a year. But they're going to play an interim coach. I'm just going to put this out there right now. This is a big game for Andy Avalos to win. Finish the season with double-digit wins and fix, or at least straighten up, this postseason football program that you're saying this program has. They need to win this game, Prater.
And what are the consequences if they don't? If you're going to throw that out there, what are the consequences if they don't?
If they don't, oh, God.
A couple of Twidiots are going to go crazy, and that's
There's
it.
your buzzkill. We can't beat North Texas with an interim coach, a program that doesn't even know what direction it's going in from Conference USA, and you can't beat these guys. Like, to me, this should be Boise State versus Northern Iowa in the Ponciata Bowl? I can never say that word right.
That was Northern Illinois, I believe.
What did I
it?
say?
You said Northern Iowa.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was NIU, Northern Illinois, where it was a massacre. Remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
To me, I hope this is like that for this team, and just blow these guys away and focus on recruiting and get Coach Avalos what this fan base hopes is the first of many double-digit victorious seasons, Mike Prater.
Yeah, I don't disagree with all that. And yeah, the loss would certainly be a downer, and certainly would be put a lot of baggage on Andy Avalos' shoulder going into this offseason. But, I'm not too wrapped up in the number of wins, going back in history and looking at that and putting, fancy things on my wall in my football complex. But yeah, PR wise, this is a massive opportunity for Boise State, and they have to win this game.
All right. What about Deion Sanders coming west, going to the Pac-12? He's going to coach the Colorado Buffaloes. What do you think on this? 208-424-9300. Tell me why it's going to work, but tell me why it won't. Why won't this work? What do you think? Call, text, we'll take them both. It's Prater on the Ball Game on Idaho Sports Talk.
From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Studios.